Well, I don't want to vent. In fact, I can't vent because the vents aren't working on this old car. So let's see if we can fix the centre vents today in this Mercedes W124. There is a couple of issues here in the centre vent. First of all, this one here won't go up and down. It's jammed. This one does quite nicely, up and down, left, right. That one does not go up and down, and no matter where this dial is, it doesn't block off the airflow, which is kind of annoying now it's getting into winter time, because it just blasts cold air through here no matter where this dial's set. So I'm going to remove this and we'll see what's going on in behind it. So first of all, we need to open the glove box, and there is a screw here that we have to remove. And there's a screw on the other side here, so we're going to have to remove the dash pinnacle to get to that other side. So when I remove it, I just get my hands in there and pull it out. You can get a special tool, but really it's just easy enough to do that. There you go. Oh, screw's missing from this side, so I guess that solves that issue. So there's also these clips in here which are keeping it on, so we're just going to try and release those clips by pulling them up. Okay, it's still connected by the wire for the light, so I'll just let it hang there. So that looks a bit broken to me. This is obviously the mechanism that opens and closes the hatch. So there's something not really working there if it's not opening and closing that. Let's disconnect it, get it over onto the workbench and see what's going on. So I can't get this out of the housing, so I'm going to need to unplug the wire further back where it comes out of the loom. So I'm just going to take this, this dash panel off here. You can see how I do that in this video up here. So here we are with the dash off, and unfortunately it's not as easy as I hoped. So that's the wire, it comes down to here, and then it's it carries on and behind here somewhere. And it's not just a simple plug like I was hoping. It all seems to be part of one loom, so I'm going to carry on trying to get this out of the back of there so I can get this piece on the workbench. I don't have to try and fix it here in the car. Okay, so it turns out that I'm an idiot and this just pops off the bottom. So I reckon it'll just pull out. There we go. So that's how you change the bulb and how we free this unit. Let's take it to the workbench now and see if we can fix it. So here we are with the unit in the workbench. This is the piece that fell out of it as well, and this clip is also supposed to be stuck onto it and it's come off. So a little bit to fix. Now I'm always quite amazed at the quality. Every time I pull a part off the Mercedes, it always strikes me just how good quality it is. Take this outer bezel for example, that's metal. But they're not showing off the fact that it's metal, they've made it look like the surrounding plastic. But no, it's metal, so yeah, just really good quality. Of course, not such good quality that it hasn't managed to break on us, but that's okay, we'll forgive it that. See if we can get it fixed. Now the bezel, I believe, is holding in the louvers. So if we can take that off. Yeah, so these levers just come out. Now, they're metal as well. So yeah, all in all, a pretty good quality unit, but must have a weak point obviously. This is plastic, this part, and that's the part that appears to be broken. I can see just looking in the side here, all this broken plastic. So that's where this unit was sitting, in there, something like that, I think. So we're going to have to see if we can reattach it, or buy a new one of these, but I'm going to try and fix this one first. And I'm pretty sure the whole thing should just pop out. Ow! Yep, every time. There we go. Right, got him. So there's the arm. That just unscrewed out of the housing, so I can attach this to this, weld or glue this all back together, and then I can go back out to the car and just use the Allen key to reattach it back to the car. Yeah, that's the plan. So my go-to method for fixing plastic bits and pieces is to weld it back together just with a soldering iron. So I sort of do a few tacking spots. I guess it's a bit like normal welding. You tack it first, and that kind of holds it there. And then I use wire. So I've just got this pretty thin wire, just cut off bits, and I melt them into the plastic to give it strength again across the join. So I just made an L shape and now melting it into the plastic. I'll do a few more and then that'll be good as new. Won't be pretty, but it will be strong. That'll do it, I reckon. I put 3 pins through it, melted them in. Yeah, like I said, it doesn't look pretty, but you'll never see it. It'll be behind the switch, so, or the dial. It feels a bit loose. I'm hoping that once it's connected to the flap, it's going to have some dampening, because otherwise it feel a bit un-Mercedes-like. Okay, let's click it in and hope for the best. And we are ready to go back in the car. So that's what we have to screw the thread onto. I'll just test that's still working before we put it back together. Yay! There we go. You just know there was a German guy in a factory somewhere who could probably do this in about 3 seconds. Over and over, he'd do it all day. And here I am, struggling. Oh yeah, before I put this in, actually, I'm going to clean in here because it's quite dusty and gross. All that stuff coming out. Easier if there wasn't a steering wheel here. I might come in from the other side. Let's see if we can attach this. Okay, I think I've got it. Again, like everything in this vent, putting it back together is a bit of a nightmare, but I'm pretty sure, yep, I've got something going on. Okay, so screw back in and oh no, where'd it go? And now I can have the heater on without it blowing cold air in my face through these vents. It's a week later and I've been driving it around and it's working better, but it's still not working perfectly. Even when it's shut off, I can still feel cold air coming through these vents. I think what's happening is that the foam seal around the flap in here has disintegrated. So I'm going to pop this out again and just have a look if we can stick something else onto the flap inside. So what I might do is put some foam on this lip along here where the rubber seal runs against. That rubber seal still feels fine, but I just don't think it's pulling it tight enough. And it might be that there's some play now in the dial from having to repair it. So yeah, I'll try that. So I've got a couple of different thicknesses of foam rubber with a sticky back on it. So I'm just going to try the thicker one and see how I get on. It's not sticking. I wonder why. Right, so that's not sticking very well. Might try the thinner one, see if that sticks. Right, that feels like it's sealing a lot better. I'm going to put the vent back in and test it with the vent in there. I found it's easier to use one of these. So I've got some of these Allen keys with the multi-angle head on it. This is just an old one I found in my toolbox. It's a 4mm, but this one here, it means it flops around when you're trying to line it up, but this one here you can sort of use the Allen key to angle it and get it in the right spot. So that's my advice, is use one of these square end ones. Right, let's see how it goes with the fan on. I can still feel it coming out. Why is that? Okay, I'll scrap that idea because the more foam I put on the bottom, I started layering on more pieces at the bottom to try and make it seal, but then of course it wasn't touching at the top of the flap. So it actually works okay as designed. It's got rubber around it which seals quite nicely, but it's just, I don't think the mechanism's pulling on it hard enough. So I'm going to see if I can adjust somehow the mechanism so it pulls that flap shut, because once it's shut there's no air coming out there at all. But I don't think the dial's pulling it tight enough. Back on the workbench, let me pull it apart and just see if I can get the play out of this mechanism. Yeah, so I've pulled it apart a lot quicker than before because I know what I'm doing now, which is nice. Right, here's our mechanism, and it just doesn't seem to be pulling it back. So we can see that it's pivoting there. If that was held back, this would stay further back, which is what we want, to pull that flap nice and tightly shut. And if I look closely, I can actually see that there's broken plastic. There should have been a plastic, like I guess, shroud or surround all the way around that pivot point. So it's going to be tricky to fix, but I'm going to give it a go. I'm going to melt a little bit of metal in here to form the back part of this pivot. Okay, that's feeling pretty good. Now even when I turn the dial, it feels a lot smoother. It doesn't feel as floppy as it was before. I might just throw another bit of metal on there just to be sure, a bigger one. Okay, so the idea is now I can pull this one tight. Ow. Okay, so that's two pieces of metal around the back forming, I guess, like a, what do you call that, a collar? Yeah, the wheel feels a lot better now. Like before it was kind of all loose and floppy because I guess that was flipping around all over the place. And now it feels really nice and tight and Mercedes-like. So, yeah, I'll put it back together and see if that actually closes the flap properly now. Righto, let's see if it works this time. Yes! That's what it was. That was the loose mechanism in here. So open and shut. Yep, that's working great. Ah, lovely. So that is now properly fixed. All done. Vent is fixed and working again, so I can have the heater on without getting blasted in my face with cold air. If you want to watch more episodes of me working on this old car, make sure you subscribe to the channel or just come back and check in again at some later stage. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.